Hello, my name is Kylie Kearns, and this is my Person Team Organization Fit Assessment. Throughout this presentation, I'm going to first talk about a little bit about myself, go into my previous leadership styles and experiences, things that I've become involved in, and the ways in which my leadership abilities have affected others and the projects that I've worked on. Then I'll be talking specifically about my project with the Coomers, my randomly assigned team for my BMGT 364 class. I'll be talking about the project that we're working on, how my abilities have affected my teammates, and how all of our work has accumulated into a project that we're continuing to work on. Then I'll get into my career goals, what I can see myself doing after college, and more so what I aim to be doing. After that, I'll touch on the organizational structure prediction, the kind of environment I can see myself working in based on my learning styles and the ways in which I am motivated and can lead others. Then my professional development plan, how I can see myself moving through the business worlds 5 years after college. During those 5 years, how I can better myself and the steps I can take to do that. And finally, I'll be talking about the letter to myself. This was one that I'll be opening in 5 years, and it'll be interesting to see if I carry this out to see myself open this up. So let's get started. So now I suppose we can get into a little bit about me. I'm a sophomore marketing major from northern New Jersey, right outside New York City. And I guess in reference to my leadership styles and the kind of person I am today, a couple things have kind of shaped the person that I am today. And I'd say that a big thing has been my family. I come from a very sarcastic, critical, but also loving family, and having a lot of older male siblings, or I have an older male sibling and older male cousins who I consider siblings. That certainly toughened me up, made me want to impress them, and I've always kind of wanted to be a tough person because of that. On top of that, I also played a lot of sports growing up and received a lot of criticism there, and good work ethics and leadership skills. Working as a bartender this past summer really definitely toughened me up, and I'm definitely someone who wants to get a job done, but I've also learned how to do that in a really collaborative way, and ways in which have allowed my teams that I've been on to do well. So I would say that I'm definitely a collaborative leader. I'm not someone who is looking for a win-lose situation. I'm definitely looking for a win-win. I think that one of my strongest skills is negotiation. And that has been especially prevalent in my team projects throughout all of college. I also stick to a number of core values that are centered around the notion of just treating people the way that I want to be treated. I know I have dealt with poor leadership before and been the victim of people not taking my feelings into consideration, and I know how awful that can feel, so I definitely look to make people feel needed. So, for example, the class activity that we did last week was especially eye-opening to me because I didn't even realize that I was acting as a leader. It was really just a job that I wanted to see someone do, and I just kind of realized that I did it afterwards. I kind of stepped up. I was one of the project managers, and as a project manager, I talked to the other project managers and found out what we were looking to have the employees accomplish. And so once we realized that, I I ran outside and started talking to the employees, got their input, and then kind of acted as the facilitator between the employees and their ideas and the executives. I also am a very creative person. That's something that will definitely tie into my career goals, and I'll talk about that later for sure. So I would say those are probably my biggest strengths. My weaknesses, the number one is that I'm impatient. I want to come up with the best solutions as quickly as possible. Stagnation is one of my least favorite things to be experiencing. So instead of doing the due diligence of research, I'm often trying to find the quickest and best solution, and that doesn't always happen as that kind of pairing. So in addition, I'm also a big picture thinker. I recently worked on a leadership compass activity, and I was north and east, meaning I was kind of like a headstrong, being a north leader, and east is a big picture visionary person, and that's the kind of person who's not looking at the details. They just know how they want the end result, and that describes me pretty perfectly. And that can work against me when I have these grandiose plans and don't actually look at all of the details of accomplishing that. And that's where really great teammates step in and kind of keep me grounded. And that's really proven to help me and be critical to my success. I also take criticism pretty personally, and I think that's attributed to how seriously I take the projects that I'm in. I have worked on that because having played basketball and having tough bosses and being hard on myself, I take criticism. I have received a fair amount of criticism, but working on that is something that has been consistent throughout my life. My team project this semester has been the most thorough team project I've worked on to date, and that's because of the emphasis placed on our interpersonal interactions and understanding our abilities to lead and motivate and work with each other. I've seen the process of us going through the forming, storming, norming, and performing stages, and luckily we did not spend too much time in the storming stage. I think the only time that I really saw that happen was when we were coming up with ideas for the actual project. And I had an idea that I was very excited about, but no one else on the team was. And I think that just talking that through in a very civil way was the most storming I've seen. We worked together pretty well. I think there is a lack of motivation that can definitely be addressed. Figuring out the ways that we can be motivated and motivate each other is definitely something that we can work on as a team, because I don't have all the answers there. I think that putting together the video for this project and our final deliverables will be a tough experience, especially with the due dates coming up quickly, and I often worry that if I'm not the one to bring up the fact that we have due dates coming up or initiate our team involvement or a meeting, that it won't actually happen. So I do feel some pressure there, but that's something that we can definitely work on as a team. So I could talk for a while about my career goals because they're a little all over the place, but the most condensed way I can say my career goals are that one has to do with film and promotional videos, potentially commercials. The other one is international consulting. I'm a marketing major, and I am really excited about commercials and the ability of film to convey a message and to do so in a clever way. And currently, I'm waiting to hear back from Participant Media, which is a film company that promotes social issues through film, through digital content, media, TV, and so that's one exciting opportunity that I'm looking into and waiting to hear back from. The other is an international consulting position, and this is based on A, my interest in consulting, using innovative ways to improve companies, and B, the idea of not having a home after I graduate and just traveling the world, having projects in a country, live in a country for 6 months or a year, and then move to the next one. That's something that's really exciting for me, just a really enticing career path for me, and I'm looking to see if that would be possible at all. Now, the reason why these kinds of career paths are interesting to me ties into my prediction for the organizational structures that I would fit into best. The truth about my work ethic is that I get bored easily. So the best way for me to be working is to have projects that where I can see an end goal, but there's little monotony. I'm motivated by by working with other people, by being able to be creative, bounce ideas off of others. I don't do well with doing the same kind of thing day in and day out, so being on my toes as much as possible is definitely preferable. I can see myself moving up through the ranks of the positions the companies that I get involved in. I think that my leadership abilities kind of speak to that very much so. So the basis of my professional development plan is to never stop learning. Essentially, I would like to always have the mindset that I don't know everything and that I can continue to learn. But with that said, I would like to be specifically learning in throughout experiences and through other people, not necessarily in a classroom, which is why I'm not interested in going to grad school at the moment. Ideally, I'd like to, as I said, learn through experiences and through opportunities where I can be impacting other people. Although, if positions arise and opportunities arise for me that require going to grad school, that is something that I will consider, but as of now, grad school is not necessarily in the cards for me financially or interest-wise. Another way for me to learn is to attend Toastmasters, which I've found out is a program that professionals of all ages get involved in to improve their public speaking skills. And public speaking is something that I've always wanted to get very good at, but my nerves and overthinking have always gotten in the way of that. So after college, in the 5 years directly following my undergraduate years at Maryland, I'd love to go and attend Toastmasters to really focus on public speaking. Other ways I can learn definitely involve finding and seeking out mentors, and then in turn becoming mentors for other people, for up-and-coming employees in the company. So, if I were to write a letter to myself to be opened in 5 years, that letter I'd be opening when I'm 25 years old, 3 years out of college, and at that point, I'd like to be comfortably in a career, but still looking at new opportunities outside of the company, around the world. I think that my biggest hope is that I don't change too much from the person that I am now. There's a naivete among college students in wanting to affect change around the world, in wanting to have a very meaningful career path and a very meaningful life. I don't want to get caught up in a job that provides for me financially and only financially. I'm the kind of person who needs to be motivated by big picture things, by helping people. So I hope that the goals and passions that I've built throughout college don't leave me once I leave College Park, Maryland. My hope is that I continue to build on those and help other people to develop similar passions so that the world can become a better place, as cheesy as that may sound. So essentially, I would just like to not change too much and not give up on the dreams of the naive college-aged Kylie.